What is up, everybody? And I'd like to welcome each and every one of you back to a new LSSR review. Sadly to say, I've already had my lunch, so I cannot show you KFC while eating KFC. Nevertheless, we are pressing forward with Phoenixman's review today. So, a brief introduction into our resident chicken. He is one of the most versatile monster units in terms of builds. You can build him either as a main attacker or as a HP tank. He has one of the best synergy with Gyoro, because Gyoro's passive actually redirects 50% of his damage taken to a unit in front of him if the unit is a monster. So Phoenixman will be able to reach max damage way faster even with health build if it's brought up like that. He can also soft counter RMG, namely her ult. If you're running gangster RMG, then he doesn't really have much value at all to counter that unit. And he also makes PvE easy, especially PvE with multiple units, like Club Boss, where he's able to nuke the backline quite easily, especially when running attack heals, because he'll be able to die more easily and just be able to one-shot the whole backline. The cons, he is right before major units being Genos, RMG and Gyoro, so it might be a little bit difficult for you to get him, unless you plan to get him under 20 tickets. His PvP value is also quite low, as you will see in the meta analysis, pardon me. So he's mostly a PvE focused unit, and he's quite null and void versus blast area units, because even though he unmutes, your whole team doesn't unmute, you're going to lose the battle. So these examples are like SSR Genos, Awakened Terrible Tornado, Goketsu. So do take note of these characters, even King. So abilities breakdown. When Phoenixman dies, he unmutes, and he revives the next turn with 15% max HP up to 3 times in a battle. And then he deals extra damage, extra as in status extra, equal to 35% of his missing hit points, and this stacks up to 3 times, so it will go up to 105%. Then his extreme passive, when Phoenixman dies, he unmutes, revive next turn with 20% max HP for a total of 4 times. And then he deals extra damage equal to 40% of his missing hit points, and it stacks up to 3, so it's 120%. It's quite good. So this is his passive in action. So he just lies down there similarly to Zombie Man, except that there's no explosion when he dies. So that's the difference. His basic attack hits a single target for 120% damage. Doesn't really do anything else. So if your main nuker leaves your enemies with 1 HP in the backline, usually Phoenixman with a primal gear will be able to knock him out with this ability. You don't really run speed with Phoenixman that much unless you plan to ult him. So pretty basic for a basic attack if you ask me. So his ultimate, this is one of the most aesthetic ultimates in the game. So he attacks the back row, dealing 150% damage, and has a 70% chance to inflict burn, dealing 100% attack when procced. So quite a pretty ultimate, very cool. His auto ultimate attacks back row 3, dealing 180% damage, which is amazing. 100% chance to inflict burn, dealing 120% attack when procced. So ultra ultimate, wow, look at that, it's so nice, to be honest. Like, it looks like a meteor shower. Damn. But it kind of misleads because the area of effect is so big, right? It doesn't hit the front row, guys. It only hits the back row. Okay, let's head to our meta analysis. Take it away. What is up, guys? We're back with a new meta analysis review. We're gonna be looking at Phoenixman today, and who better to look at than Jay, our well and beloved analyst on our Discord server, and his Phoenixman. So this is one of Jay's many Phoenixmans. So I just asked him for his best Phoenixman, and he provided me with this big boy. So it's a level 100 red Phoenixman, which is considerably good. And based on this, it seems that he invested quite a bit of HP books into him, but it doesn't seem to be at the highest it can go. I assume that he's investing more into RMG, which is normal. But yeah, I guess skill level 18 on a Phoenixman is not bad. So let's have a rundown of his skills. So this is his passive. So every time he dies, he revives with 15% of his HP at the base, and at 5 star he goes up to 20%, and you can revive up to 3 times for uh, below 5 stars and 4 times for 5 stars. So I would say that is a pretty good passive to have, definitely. Especially if you need a stall unit, if you have issues with backline destroyers like RMG and the newly released Sonic, for example, or if you want a frontline character that can stall for a very long time, Phoenixman is your guy. And every time he revives, he gets a scaling percentage of damage. Without 5 stars is 35% of his missing HP, and with 5 stars is 40%. So it goes from 35 to 105 up to 120. Yeah, so definitely good passive to have. So his basic attack, he just deals an attack 120% damage, nothing too fancy. And his ultimate, he attacks 3 backline units dealing 150% of his attack, and he has a 70% chance to burn for 2 rounds, dealing 100% of his attack stat. Now his burn damage won't be that high because you usually build him as HP, but in initial stages I recommend for you to actually build him as an attacker and then pass off his gears, buff gears onto RMG. That's the best plan for it. Now limit break, you don't need to limit 5 him if you're using him for PvE only, but if you're using for PvP, you definitely want to push to 5. And Awakening, you can push to 3 or 2 stars, is more than optimal. I will cover these bases later. And his talent 2 is more than enough. Doesn't seem like talent 3 should be pursued, but if you wish to do so, you may go ahead. So 2-star keepsake as well as 5-star demon badge, this is more essential than the 2-star keepsake due to your HP being needed to tank up as much as possible because you want to avoid dying. And primal set is the best for him, definitely, because more likely than not you won't be ulting on him, so your basic attack will be able to hit the backline as well. So maybe if you have a backline that has 1 HP due to your RMG not being strong enough, or there being a very strong Gyro core on the enemy side with high HP percentage, that little bit of attack will do it justice and take them out. So buff gears definitely want to run HP, get as much hit point and HP bonus as possible. Now on the topic of Phoenixman, let's have a look at his PvP use. Since a lot of people say that Phoenixman PvP wise is so-so only. My bad, sorry, I wanted to go here to tournament. And we'll have a look at tournament finals because this is the best way to gauge how Phoenixman stands, because it doesn't really last in the main PvP arena that long. So the best way is to look here. So his main job is to stop units like Sonic and RMG from taking out the backline. So he's fulfilling his job here. Because if this was any other important unit, then screwed. But then as you see, because of the introduction of Sonic, we have 2 backline nukers. So Phoenixman can only store 1. So it seems like Phoenixman kinda just gets null. Even without Sonic, I would say Phoenixman just stalls RMG. So if you have an equally strong Koketsu, it doesn't seem to have much value. So from the way this is going, the Sonic will be muted by Phoenixman as well. So as you can see, Phoenixman's job is just to die. Like literally die and stall. So if he dies to Goketsu here, then Phoenixman's job is not done because he's supposed to stop Sonic. So see, Phoenixman dies here, and then Sonic gives free reign on RNG. Although it doesn't do too much damage, the follow-up from the enemy RMG seems to be doing way more. And then now that Phoenixman is down, their units have free reign over the front line, and this front line is the main carry for this team. So this guy's Goketsu as well as his RMG and his Sonic are his main carries. Notice that he don't put his main carries at the back due to the threat posed by RMG and Sonic. So based on this initial analysis, I would say that Phoenixman doesn't really shine in PvE. Although in PvE he does have amazing value as a frontline tank, you will naturally have Zombie Man. But if you need an Esper slot for that, then definitely Phoenixman is your guy. So we can have a look at the PvE lineups showed here. I don't think Jay missed his hit today, so he didn't. So this doesn't have Phoenixman, but I know Jay does. So most lineups focus on damage now at this point. So not many people will actually be having Phoenixman, but this account does. It's mostly filled as the role of a frontline tank that can also deal considerable amount of damage, because when he dies, he actually is able to gain more percentage. So he's usually put in the middle round 1, and then if he dies, he'll be able to nuke the backline considerably. So you might want to run a tech set for PvE just because he can die easier and he can deal more damage. That's my recommendation, guys. Also for our buddy Phoenixman over here, if you do not have access ticket, I recommend a skip. It also depends on what type of player you are. I mentioned this in my stream a couple days back. If you are playing for PvE, Phoenixman is definitely a unit you want to get. But if you're playing for PvP, he's mostly used as a staller, as I showed before this. Other than that, he doesn't really have much value. So I would recommend personally a hard skip on Phoenixman. Although he is a good unit for stalling, it doesn't really matter once RMG is out, because once she gets her purpose 5 with KS, follow-ups deal amazing amount of damage. This is just a 4-star RMG, so you don't really expect much damage from it. But against a 5-star purple RMG, she'll be able to literally destroy teams just solely on follow-up. So I urge you guys to consider this before pulling. I'm not doubting Phoenixman value. He does have very strong value, especially as a staller. He can be run frontline or backline. There is no problem. He can store RMG, as you've seen. He stored RMG for 2 rounds. Sorry, not RMG, Sonic. And we won't get Sonic for a very long time. So RMG will be the only backline nuker for Monster. So it has insane value. It's just whether he is worth it when Euro, Genos and RMG are the next 3 banners. That's why I'm urging you to reconsider if you're pulling for Phoenixman. I've changed my opinion on Genos. Instead of a skip, I'm recommending a go. So if you want to know more information about that, do check out my live stream that I had on Saturday. That's it for this session of meta analysis, everybody. Phoenixman is definitely a good unit, without a doubt. It's just there are better units coming out, so you might want to consider, especially since the next banner is a core. If you do not have 180 tickets secured, or at least 360, because you expect to go 180 on Phoenixman and then 180 on Euro, and then if you're getting Genos, you need to 180 on him, then you need to 180 on Red Mosquito Go, which is right after Genos. So I urge you to reconsider if you want to pull Phoenixman. If you have the access tickets, by all means go ahead. If you want to try your luck, go ahead. Just don't expect much. That's it from me, everybody. I'd like to thank you so much for your patience in entertaining my meta analysis. I hope it serves you well as much as it served me making this video. Back to the video. And we're back. So we are going to look at his material expense now. Pardon me. Limit break for PvE. If you intend to use him solely for that, 4-star is more than sufficient. If you're going for 5 stars, then you might be want to use him in your main PvP lineup, because there's no other purpose for you to push to 5 stars to be honest. Extreme training is recommended when you first get him, but when you get one of the priority units further on the road like Gyro, Genos, and RMG, please extreme train them instead. If you want to go to 5 stars, it takes a total of 239 shards and 343 badges in total. Awakening, you are recommended to stop at 2 stars unless you want to use him for PvP, then you can go up 3. I don't recommend you go 4 or any more than that. This is a picture based from the China server, so their drop rate is higher. In C, the drop rate is incredibly low, so please only stop at 2, or you want to do 1 also, it's fine. And also can be ignored. The awakening can be totally ignored because RMG is quite close and you might want to purple style Gyro instead. Additional information, his gears, of course, the best set is Primal HP, similar to Tank Top Master, but you want to run 3 HP percent, 1 HP speed. Unfortunately, I do not have that, so I'm running more on speed. I don't really have Phoenixman at the moment, nor do I plan to, but if I had it, I would be running this because I do not have any HP percent primal gears. For broken set, you can run 3 HP percent, 1 HP speed as well. I will more likely resort to broken set if my primal is this bad. Talent, his talent is actually True Strike. I'm not sure whether it's 1 or 2 because nobody really opens talent tree on Phoenixman because it's not necessary. Sigils, you should go Sharp Sword and Ultimate Reduction because you already have health via your gears. Buff gears, you always go 3 HP, try to roll for HP and HP bonus. If you want to rush a little bit of attack, it's fine also, it really synergizes well with his kit. Now, let's go to his major issues. Firstly, he's countered by nukers. Let's just get that out of the way. Not only is he himself countered by nukers, if his team is dead and he unukes, there's no point for him to be there. He's also high proximity to Gyro. They usually one banner apart, so it's Phoenixman Gyro or Gyro Phoenixman. So you might want to reconsider before pulling him. His value is mostly in PvE as shown in the video. His PvP is quite horrible. There's also an Astral Material drop because you're going to have Gyro after this, and then you are going to have RMG after this. So you have 2 major aspects that you need to push to 5 stars, and I don't think you want to be using your excess materials on Phoenixman. And he's basically a monster zombie man without the extra damage burst to 6 members. So it's just there, meant to be there as a staller for one-shotters, or he doesn't have any heal value, he has more damage value, so I guess you can think of it as a attack-oriented zombie man, and zombie man is a heal-oriented Phoenixman. If you want to think of it like that, I would say him as a unit is not a bad unit, but within the scope of the next 3 banners, he would be considered a skippable unit because the next 3 banners, which is Genos, RMG, Gyro, are essential units if you want to play PvP. If you want to play PvE, then Phoenixman and RMG and Gyro are the essential units. For PvP, it would be Gyro, RMG, and Genos. So that's it from me, everybody. I try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. The meta analysis might have been a little bit too long, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.